Hi, well here we are in Santiago. We made it in yesterday. It was a 500-mile journey from starting in St. John, which is over the French border in the Pyrenees. Took us about 32 days of walking and walking pretty fast. But we made it here and it's extraordinary. And here you see behind me the beautiful Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela. So we're here. We ended yesterday on a 27-mile hike over the hills to get here. It was quite something. It was pretty strenuous. We had a great plan. We had seen that the weather was forecast to be very rainy today. As you can see, that is not the case. It's a beautiful day here in Santiago, but it was forecast for rain. We thought to avoid that, we would just double up our segments yesterday, and so we did, and it was a 27-mile hike. We got started at about 5 in the morning. It was forecast to be hot, so we had 2.5, almost 3 hours of walking in the dark with our headlamps on, which was fine, and we were congratulating ourselves on what a brilliant plan we had hatched. We left our jackets and our long sleeves at home because it was supposed to be a hot day. About an hour into the walk, while we were jubilant about our plan, it started raining on us, which is one of the takeaways from the Camino, which is if you think you're in charge, you're going to shortly be reminded that you are not in charge and that God has a sense of humor. So here we are in Santiago on a beautiful day that was forecast to be raining. Another thing that struck me, we've been walking in the last 100 miles or so in the region of Galicia, which is a particularly beautiful part of Spain. It's hills and mountains and green pastures, particularly changeable weather, as I just described. Wonderful, warm people, amazing food, and just great hospitality. But during this last stage, I was really struck by something. We met a family from South America. They have a young boy, 16 years old, in a wheelchair, and they were traveling with him. It was a big group, probably 15 or so folks in the family, parents, grandparents, and they were traveling with this boy in a wheelchair along these paths. And some of these paths are, a little bit strenuous, kind of rocky, difficult for traveling, certainly in a wheelchair, but they were doing it. And I got to talking to them, got to know the boy a little bit. He exhibited some of the traits of a FOXG1, some of our FOXG1 children, nonverbal and unable to walk. Got talking to the family. He's not FOXG1, but has a similar condition, and I told him about FOXG1 and some of the things we're doing. But I was so struck by, the love and warmth of this family, and what is possible when people pull together. And they were obviously having an amazing experience, and I know the boy was too. But I was particularly inspired by them, and it just reminded me of the inspiration that so many of our FOXG1 families are in loving and caring for their children under what can often be difficult circumstances. I certainly see it in my own family. So it was maybe that was a Camino moment for me. And then the last thing I want to say is a word of gratitude. My theme throughout this trek has been gratitude. As you know, it's a pilgrimage. It's a pilgrimage of prayer for our kids, and also a pilgrimage where we're raising funds for our gene therapy. And so gratitude to all the wonderful Spanish people who were so hospitable along the way. They see pilgrims come and go. Not everybody's having their best day, but I never saw anything but incredible kindness among Spanish people. And then, of course, gratitude for our many supporters, people who've been praying for this mission, praying for our gene therapy development, and of course, financial support, which has been extraordinary. We've had donors who have done amazing things and have been incredibly generous, and I just can't thank you enough. So with that, I'm going to make this my last post and sign off. I'd like to say thank you, God bless you, and buen camino.